Here we are at Melbourne for the Australian Open, day 6, and we are with Dan King, correspondent of the Sun since 2013. Thanks for being with us. Well, what do you think about Chang beating Zverev? Did you expect that? Chung is number 58, Zverev is number 4. Everybody was expecting him to raise and become maybe the one who follows up Federer, Djokovic.
And I think everyone thought that this was going to be the Open Grand Slam where is he going to do it? But yet again, we're talking about why can't Federer do it in Grand Slams? He won 2 Masters last year, but he still hasn't been to a quarter-final at a Grand Slam. And you know, I think the longer it goes on, the more of a mental hurdle it becomes for him.
Yeah, I did ask him, and he said, "Is it physical? Is it mental?" Because he lost 6-love in the fifth set, and
he lost his cool. He lost his temper. He was smashing his racket. He was gone. I think once Chung got the first break, I think Zverev was sort of. Here we go again.
So what do you think? What will happen? Because he is considered the newcomer, the future #1 in the world. I
mean, he's clearly got the talent, and he's got the gifts. He's got what everyone says is what's going to be the modern tennis player. He's a little bit taller. He's got the big serve, but he's really athletic. He's got a huge reach. He seems to have everything. But as we all know, you can have all the talent in the world, but you've got to have it in the head as well. And maybe he doesn't quite believe enough yet that he can win a 5-set tournament.
Yeah, well, and then talking about still the men's tournament, even if maybe today it was almost more interesting the women's day. Well, Djokovic won easily, Federer won easily. There are no more French in the draw in the last 16, and for the first time there are 2 Italians since 42 years at the same time on the last 16. But one of these Italians has to play a Brit, someone that you must know well.
Yes, Carl Edmund. When I first saw Carl Edmund's draw and I saw he was playing Kevin Anderson in the first round, I thought, that's really unlucky, poor bloke. This would have been a good chance for him. Yeah. And obviously, as the British tennis correspondents, without Andy Murray here, we're thinking, well, where are our victories going to come from? We thought maybe Joe Conter was going to be the one who's going to help us into the second week, but it's been Carl Edmund, and he has his maturity. We just talked about the mental strength there with Zverev, the mentality and character that Edmund has showed this week in 5 sets against Anderson, and then in that absolutely suicidal heat on Friday against Basilashvili. It was just an extraordinary performance. Not a great tennis match, but a great mental battle.
Sure. Well, you know what happened? I mean, for Edmund to have to play Seppi is not that bad. I mean, in the last 16, for Seppi also is not that bad to play Edmund.
It's a great chance for both of them.
For both.
And I know Seppi's never been further than the 4th round here. So whoever wins is going into unknown territory. So it'll be a real landmark for either of them.
Yeah. Well, Fognini today was fun because he said, next match I have to play Burdick, who plays 200 kilometers per hour. Yeah. I would have rather get the opponent of Andrea Seppi.
Okay.
Well, I mean, because between...
and then if Fabio wins that one, he's probably going to end up playing Federer, and then... then he'll really have a complaint to make.
Listen, let's talk about the women, because today, I mean, there were some interesting matches. I mean, Alep saved 4 match points.
What a game! What a match! That's one of the best matches I think I've ever seen. Yeah. Because not only was it long and the longest joint longest in terms of games,
15 to 13.
In the Australian Open in the women's tournament. Throughout that 3 3/4 hours, whatever it was, the level of play barely dipped. The whole game, for most of the time, Lauren Davis was more like Halep than Halep. Yeah. She was running the angle, not just getting the ball back, but the angles she was finding. It was just a fabulous game of tennis, and I wanted it to go on longer.
Yeah. Didn't you think that maybe Halep was suffering because of her ankle? Because the other day she had a problem, but she seemed to be running.
She seems to just play through it. And she had to run.
Yeah.
She had no choice but to run because Davis was sending her this way, that way, this way, that way. As if it's as if Halep was playing herself in the mirror.
Yeah. Okay, listen, we were a little bit disappointed by Sharapova. I mean, she lost in 64 minutes, 6-1, 6-3 to Kerber. Kerber was probably the favorite.
Yeah,
but I mean,
that was supposed to be the classic,
yeah.
but it wasn't at all. I mean, Kerber started really well, and she just seems that she's got that flow back. Her game just the ball is flying, especially on the diagonals, beautifully. Yeah. And Sharapova, she could live with her for 3 or 4 shots in a rally, but then she'd miss. She's just too erratic. She hasn't got. I don't think Sharapova is not used to playing people who can match her for power and trade, and I think she's still rusty.
Do you think Kerber can win this tournament again?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I think she's probably got to be favourite now.
Yeah.
Because she's the only one left in with who's won a Grand Slam.
Yeah, correct.
So
correct. Yeah. Well,
counts for a lot.
That's all. Thanks a lot to Dan King of the Sun, and see you soon. And who knows, between Seppi and Edmund tomorrow, who will be the happiest?
Hopefully me.